Yeah, and one of the things I really took away from your book on that topic was that even though dreams may be bizarre, they're not random. Like the narrative may wander quite a bit, but everything connects, even if they're weak associations that thread through the whole story. It's not just like scene A and then a completely unrelated scene B. There's some kind of glue, however strange it may be, that connects those two scenes. And that I think ties into the theory that you and your co-author put forward next up. Could you unpack that acronym for us and
Right.
tell us what the theory entails?
So it's network exploration to understand possibilities. So in essence, it tries to explain various features of dreams. Why are they bizarre? Why are they hyper associative? Why do they have these narrative structures, but with these elements of bizarreness in it? Why do the content of dreams vary as a function of REM sleep and two sleep, slow wave sleep, hypnagogic images? Why is it that dreams preferentially will incorporate events from the day that were salient or emotionally salient to us? So there's a lot of things that we know about dreams, and unfortunately, there's a lot of models about dreams out there that really try to account for a small, in our opinion, a small slice of dreams. So only why they are bizarre or why they're hard to remember. Um, and or or dreams are to simulate social interactions, or dreams are there to regulate emotions. And to us, that's a bit like people arguing over, what's the function of the tongue. And you have someone who says, well, the tongue is there to speak, and someone says, no, 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 it's there to taste. And they're arguing about
Mm,
this, and
mm,
from the outside you go, that's insane, right?
yeah.
And we think that in dreams, unfortunately, there's been this way too much focus on these small slivers. And we think dreams are perfectly capable and probably of executing many of the above, and maybe
Mm.
differently in different sleep stages. And so, in essence, this model tries to explain these different features of dreams and their underlying neurobiology. And we believe that the dreaming brain places you in these virtual environments, see how you react to them, and it's incorporating these emotionally or otherwise salient experiences, concerns that we have in very loose ways. So there's, as you mentioned, these loose associations, but that you can see where they began and ended. And we give the example of, these cocktail party discussions, where four or five people are talking, and after 5 minutes, someone goes, "Oh, how did we get to talk about this?" Right? Because we started with this. But if you were tape recording, you could see how those steps were made. And we
Right.
think dreams function in a similar way. They're hyper associative, and we know that. And there's some fascinating examples of how the brain can do this. But we think that ultimately again, the things we have learned about ourselves, about others, how the world works, and things we are exposed to every day, your brain needs to integrate that into what we've learned in the past. So it's not just consolidating memory, which is sort of learning facts, right?
Mm,
Right.
It's how do you use this material, right? How do you integrate with what you've had before? And so we like to say also that, you know, non-REM sleep, where a lot of this consolidation might take place, might make you smart because you're consolidating these facts that you've learned. But REM sleep takes this and tries to figure out, where does this fit in to what I've experienced in the past? How can I make sense of this? What is not important? What is important? How can I build that so I better understand tomorrow and in the future what awaits me? What is the world outside? And how can I adapt to it? And so REM sleep isn't about making you smart, it's about making you wise. It's
mm,
using those facts. And so this ties into what we think next up, or the dreaming brain is doing across different stages of sleep. And we also think that the dreaming brain, whether it's our model or any other model of dream function, whatever the function of dreams is, it gets executed when you are dreaming live, right there. Whether or not you remember the dream is really secondary. Now, you can remember dreams and do a lot with them. There's a lot of artists use dreams for inspiration, and there's discoveries and creativity. but that's sort of like a bonus. That's like, your heart makes a sound every time it beats. But the sound it makes didn't involve so that cardiologist or your doctor would invent a stethoscope and listen to it. So we can use a heartbeat to infer things about cardiovascular health. But that's not the function of the heartbeat. The
Mm.
heartbeat is to pump blood, right?
Hmm.
And so dreams execute their function, but then the parts we do recall, if we're so inclined, we can use for different things. But that's not their inherent function. And the reason we think that, among other things, that most of us never remember dreams or remember them very infrequently. And some people go through their entire lives rarely remember their dreams. And if you think, even if dreams only occur in REM sleep, think that you have about at least an hour and a half of REM sleep every night. And over a lifetime, about 6 years worth. So
Wow.
you spent 6 years of your life immersed in that really complex state, and that has no function
Yeah, right.
because you
Highly
don't
unlikely.
remember what
Yeah.
went on.